Alright lads, so today continuing on with the character showcases, we are showcasing yet another Bambietta this year, because of course this end of month banner did bring us a new zombie Bambietta. It's a character that I've been somewhat looking forward to, especially because I did assume this character would arrive alongside Giselle, but it is really funny to have this character in-game, but at the same time I will say, very tragic. Obviously, Bambietta is a fan favorite, even for Caleb. We have so many Bambiettas. We have a Bambietta epic raid right now. There was no doubt in my mind that we weren't going to get zombie Bambietta, but man, it's so tragic seeing her like this, I will be honest. Even though I am a fan of Giselle, seeing Bambietta dead like this, like, you can't defend it. Giselle is a terrible person, and what she did to Bambietta is inexcusable. And you'll kind of see that, or more so hear it when you play with the character. All of her quotes when you use her attacks, it's just so sad to hear. She's begging for more blood. She's in pain. She's saying, please no. It's really, if you are a Bambietta fan, would you even want to use this character? It's like, it's so sad. It's so sad. But what might be sadder is how this character was treated. So she does have some problems, right? And we'll explain what is wrong with this unit. For the most part, it's going to be low damage output. So Bambietta is a speed Quinty Stunritter with a Ranka Killer Plus, and it is noteworthy that she is a ranged character because the ranged Aranka Guild Quest does need a good unit, and that's what this character is. She is more of a Guild Quest unit. As you'll see here, she has a lot of Guild Quest specific kills, more range damage, more killer effects. Most importantly though, Frenzy +3 only in Guild Quests. In Guild Quest, she's going to be very, very good because the damage output here is actually surprisingly high, right? You have Frenzy free, again, more killer and range effects, but you're also doing 140% more damage to burning enemies. You can take that higher with a bonus ability and get that to 180% more damage. With her strong attacks and with the increased statism and chance, she's going to be clearing, she should at least, clear Guild Quest very fast. The problem is, though, is that she has no Berserker. No Berserker, and most importantly, no spiritual pressure boost. And the reason for that is because all her damage is coming from these status limits, and I don't dislike that. I really don't dislike that. Because there will be times, and I've seen it multiple times firsthand in Guild Quests, where you inflict status limits too often that you can't reapply your SP boost. In Bambietta's case, she's going to be a character that's not going to have that problem. There will never be a situation where her damage output is low because you inflicted a status limit too quick. When you do inflict a status limit, your damage output is going to be absolutely crazy. Again, upwards to 180% just from the lacerate and burn alone. And with Frenzy free, she's going to be hitting very hard in Guild Quests. And it's also worth noting too, the lacerate itself does stop the enemies from using attacks, so you also have great crowd control. If you have been looking for a replacement of 7th Anniversary Ichigo or a new lead in the ranged Aranka Guild Quest, this Bambietta is going to be very good. And again, I don't dislike the way they designed her. In all honesty, I feel like the biggest problem, once again, is this Frenzy free. If she had Frenzy free outside of Guild Quest, I feel like she would have been really, really good, and the lack of Berserker and Spiritual Pressure boost wouldn't even be that noticeable, or even bad. And you're going to see that in Guild Quest. I just kind of wish we would have been able to see that outside of Guild Quest. Because she doesn't have the Frenzy free, the lack of Berserker, the lack of the Spiritual Pressure boost is going to be noticeable. And that's what sucks. So I don't think no SP boost, no Berserker is a bad thing. I think once more, this Frenzy +3 in Guild Quest is her biggest problem. With that said though, when it comes to today's showcase, we are going to be using her at Special Move level 1, basically only 500 additional SP. Her sword trait, which I actually did forget to mention, is recharge and damage lacerated +30%, so even more damage, which I didn't consider. And this is also going to be a really good link for 9th Anniversary Kenpachi, by the way. Almost a must-have link maybe for Guild Quest content. Definitely worth using her on him though. But for today's build, we are going to be using a Cave Fastener, Quincy Cross, and also a Fortification Pill. Links, we're using Bambietta herself. Good link for herself, right? Tenjiro and also Chad. Again, we have removed our Transcendence, and we're using full stamina and long stride as bonus abilities. When we take it into epic raids, and if we ever use it in Guild Quest, which we will showcase when the time does come, we will be using SP instead. Alright then, so first up, when it comes to the character's attacks and visuals, I think she actually looks, visually she looks great. So her SA1 is going to be a beam forwards. It does kind of have like a 2-part animation to it. So you'll see like it does, you may not want to cancel it more so. Her SA2 is a 960 in front of her, and then of course her SA3 is a full screen. So in terms of strong attacks, great. Damage output is where it is going to be a bit of an issue, and at least against the bosses, you are really going to want to inflict status limit, in this case lacerate and also burn. Although I believe in this case, we don't have an increased chance against the bosses, because our increase is against Arankas, but fortunately for us, we have been getting lucky. Oh, that enemy had crazy range. I mean, our damage output's low now because we mainly took damage. Can we get back up to full stamina? Hopefully we can. We can, lovely. I believe we are immune to burn. So SA3. Back up, we'll use our 1. We probably want to use our Sobom here, so we might as well. I ended up skipping it, but I do have something quite funny to mention in regards to Bambietta's Sobom, right? Which is more so Giselle, to be honest. Okay, that was this is a very awkward room, this one in particular. It's also worth mentioning, at least when it comes to this particular quest, there are no Arankas. So keep in mind, this is kind of Bambietta at her worst. We'll never have... Wait, is there an Aranka there? No, it's just human. So there's no Arankas in this quest. Which unfortunately does suck. Because if there was Arankas, we'd maybe clear a tad bit faster. At least if there was an Aranka boss, we'd be much better off. But I definitely am going to replay that. And one, try not to take any damage. But let's go ahead and Sobom. So yeah, overall really good Sobom. Unfortunately, there are some hidden enemies. I actually am going to have to get the Zeta Pill. I think I kind of want to keep the strong attack damage item on. So I believe I'm going to take up Long Stride in exchange for the Zeta Pill. Bonus ability more so. One thing I do want to mention though, and one thing that I absolutely love is the Soul Bomb. I was saying it on my live stream before I actually even tried out the character. I would have really hoped if they said Bambi Wambi in the subtitles. And for those that don't know, obviously Giselle says Bambi Chan, but in the dub they say Bambi Wambi. It's kind of funny and I love that they ended up putting that in the subtitles. Alright then, attempt number 2. Let's see how this does go, right? Because again, strong attack kit's actually very good. We didn't make sure we don't take any damage, which I'm not... Unironically, I'm not used to playing without Long Stride, I will be honest. Like, every character nowadays to me has to have Long Stride. Again, when it comes to bosses, it really comes down to if we inflict a status summon or not. Whether we actually can clear them fast enough. If we can, we're probably going to kill in 2 strong attacks. If not, maybe a bit more. But unfortunately, there's no Aranka boss when it comes to Links or Trials as speed only. Now, we did get hit, but luckily, we went back up to full stamina. Again, we got hit. Back up to full stamina. Got a status proc. Basically killed that, not too bad. And remember, the status procs that she does have, Burn and Lacerate. It's a great combination, especially in the Breaker. Even against these bosses, you're likely to actually do a lot of damage. So let's Soul Bomb here. I believe we would have Soul Bombed there, but the boss kind of dodged out the way. Maybe I want to Soul Bomb here, to be honest. To be fair, it's not too bad. Let's go up here, SA1. Again, if you can actually hear what Bambietta is saying, it is very tragic when using a strong attacks, I will be honest. SA3. Into the 1. Dodge around, and then SA2. Again, in that case, we didn't get a status proc, so... In this I guess, is an example of why an SP boost is still good to have. Because obviously, with an SP boost, right, we would be able to inflict a status summon on a weak mob and get more damage. So when we aren't inflicting status summons against a boss, for example, our damage output would still be high. So do I want more characters to come out like Bambietta where they don't get a spiritual pressure boost, but they get really great damage against enemies they do inflict with a status summon? I don't mind it. But again, I think if you are going to do that, you really have to give the character frenzy free. At least when it comes to content outside of Guild Quest, had she been given a Berserker, had she been given a spiritual pressure boost, she would have been fine. If not, had she at least been given frenzy free, she also would have been fine. In that case, at 1 out of 5, 1 minute and 29 second clear time. Honestly, not too bad. Ironic, that's kind of in line with Rookie, I believe. Unfortunately, it's fast. It's good enough, right? Again, most time in co-op content, you aren't playing by yourself. But even so, it is an example of a character that's kind of just nerfed where she really shouldn't be. Because had she been given frenzy free, I really feel like we could have got a sub 1 minute. All right then, so let's potentially make this our final run. Let's see how it does go. So SA3 here. That felt pretty good. Let's SA2. Can we get a status proc? Yes, we can. And you'll see there, that's the big difference, right? We actually do a lot of damage against that boss. And the burn itself is also doing, and Lacerate is doing damage. It's also just unfortunate for this showcase at the very least that we aren't up against any Arankas. Because if we were, it would have been a bit more impressive. Alright, so again, unless we get lucky here. We actually did get a status proc, okay. Not the fastest, but we'll take it. Now, the Lacerate and burn that she does have, by the way, only lasts like 4 seconds. She doesn't have like the biggest debilitator, mainly due to the fact that she only has Lacerate and Burn. It's standard for her type of character, right? So that's so on there. I should preface that my Soul Bomb is 5 out of 5. Even though I have removed our Transcendence, my Soul Bomb might be doing a bit more damage, but she does have weakened defense though. So when you do decide to use your Soul Bomb, any leftover mobs will be taking more damage. Right, let's get all the way up in here. Use that as a 3. Into the 1. Then 2. To be fair, now that I think about it as well, maybe if she had an increased chance against every speed enemy, it also would be a bit serviceable. Like the Frenzy +2 in Guild Quest wouldn't have been that bad. Because at the very least, you could then reliably get her extra damage output. So obviously that would have made it worse in Guild Quest, so I know why she only has it against the Ronkars. I wouldn't even say no to Debilitate at this point. I really feel that they should have it. In that case, 1 minute and 25, I think it's good enough. It's good enough in terms of clear time. But I think it's just the fact that it could have been a lot faster if she just had that extra thing. Again, Frenzy free, outside of Guild Quest, maybe Berserker and SP boost. Or maybe if that increased chance was to every speed character and not just Soribus. Had she been given any of those things, we easily would have got a sub 1 minute clear time. And the problem that she does have now outside of Guild Quest wouldn't really be that noticeable. Alrighty then, so next up, let's try Bambietta in the Bambietta Ultimate Epic Raid. Once more, I have no idea how much HP this boss does have. I feel like it's more than usual. But remember, we are a bonus, so we are getting that 3 times damage output. It's worth noting, Lacerate and also Burn, I believe, can only be inflicted when the boss isn't attacking. And it also only lasts like a very short amount of time. So that's something to keep in mind. When it comes to the build, though, we are using the Torshore Familiars, where we are getting 60% Berserker, 60% more damage at full stamina. We're using the exact same accessories and the exact same links. So, funny enough, in terms of clear times, we actually should get a faster clear time than Giselle, if not very similar. And ultimately, the reason for that is because Giselle's nerfed in Epic Raids, because she can't inflict Dominate, right? But we still can. And if we get a status proc and have a strong attack to follow up, we will be able to do quite a bit of damage. Like, if we got a status proc there, the damage output would have been really good. Now, just like Giselle, I'm going to save my Soul Bomb for the next phase. And then follow up with an attack. So let's do that. SA2. Unfortunately, the status summon did wear off. But now let's hope not take any damage. Can I not... see, it's so hard to not get through that without taking damage. Let's restart that, though. It's also worth mentioning, too, if we were up against an Aranka, we would also likely clear his quest faster, too, right? Because if we could have reliably inflicted a status summon during this in-between phase, it'd be even better. So again, we're going to do the same thing. Soul Bomb next phase. Use all our strong attacks when we can. Funny enough, just like the original Bambietta, her SA3 does blind you for a very short amount of time, since the visuals take up the entire screen. Right, Soul Bomb, SA3, SA1. Let's go here. Can we kill? Okay, we actually can. Nice. So we should be able to get under a minute. Flush it forward. Okay, lovely. This is such a crazy part in this epic raid. There we go. So, funny enough, granted it did come at the cost of Giselle being nerfed in epic raids. We still can clear faster than Giselle. By herself, sub 1 minute. Granted that is with the 3 times damage, but I just got to show her damage output. But that's by herself. Now let's try that with a full team. So for our first co-op lobby, we do have 4 Bambiettas and also 2 Izrus. Izru isn't doing much, but remember, Bambietta also does have weakened defense, so you do want to use your Soul Bomb on the 2nd and 3rd phase, if possible, right? Bambi Wambi, she disappeared, oh my god. Here we go, I'm going to use my Soul Bomb now. Never mind, I don't have to. I love that Giselle is in the first frame, because even if we skip the Soul Bomb, we still get to see Bambi Wambi. There we go. This is really good. And remember, since the damage output, the way it... Oh, okay, we all... Got here, that's not too good. That was going good until right at the end, though. The way Bambietta's damage output does work is that if one Bambietta inflicts a status summon, we all do more damage. So she does work well with herself, at the very least. In that case, though, that was a somewhat bad run. We all took damage. No one did a perfect run there, but we were still able to get a sub 1 minute, 40 seconds overall, not too bad, right? 36 seconds to be specific. For our next room, we have only 2 Bambiettas, one of them being me, so this one's by default should be slower. But we'll see how it does go. I'm not picky. As long as we get through the third phase fast, that's all that really matters. Because mostly everyone's taking damage in that third phase. So Ichigo does apply weakening and also weaken defense, so that's good. And it doesn't look like the Bambietta that in our team is playing. That's unfortunate. It's basically me doing the carrying right now. So bomb into the 3 or 1. I know where to stand. Oh, big damage on that SA2. Lovely. Look at that. Didn't even need to exit. SA3. Again, when you're playing with others, it's a lot easier to manage this attack. There we go. Still fast regardless when we have teammates applying weakened defense and basically only one Bambietta doing damage. For our final run though, this room is looking a lot better. 4 Bambiettas, 2 Senjumaru. Hopefully, we can get that sub 30. Yeah, already good first phase. Can someone use their soul bomb? I guess I might as well. Bambi Wambi, let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Right, now someone's got to use their soul bomb. Come on. I mean, if she applies weakened defense, we'll take it. There we go, Bambi Wambi. Alright, stay in the safe zone. Snipe from afar, there we go. Senjumaru used a soul bomb. I think that might apply weakened defense. Either way, we got 24-second clear time. So, yeah, honestly, I think the fastest day to farm epic raids if you are trying to farm medals is unironically speed only day. Because, yeah, Bambietta wasn't too bad there, in all honesty. At least when right now she is a bonus character. 23-second clear time overall, and we are getting those extra bit of medals. Next up, if you haven't already seen the video that we did post a day ago, how does Bambietta perform in Limit Breaker? So obviously her damage output in the later stages is definitely going to fall off. You are going to notice that. She has good enough strong attacks though that she is able to damage multiple waves here. And again, had she been given a few other skills, she would have honestly performed very fine even in the later stages of Limit Breaker Quest. Where she does shine though, and what's the best part about it, and the reason why you can even use her in Limit Breaker maybe more consistently going forward into the future, albeit there likely will be better options. But the burn and lacerate of course is a very powerful combination, as I've already mentioned, when it comes to Limit Breaker content, since the enemies, the poised enemies, have a large amount of HP. Burn and lacerate, and also by default poison, but we haven't seen many characters with poison as of late. The damage over time that they do is a lot, and the fact that Bambietta has 2 of them means that she's able to take away millions of HP just from inflicting the status on it alone. So despite her low damage output, she was still able to clear stages relatively fast, and it mainly came down to the fact that she has that increased chance to inflict lacerate and also burn. It's one of the reasons why, you know, Ishin is a very good Limit Breaker character. Obviously, he has other reasons that make him better. He has a higher damage output, but the lacerate and burn is a very powerful combination. I like seeing it more often, and I feel like Bambietta, if she didn't have this combination, she'd be a tad bit worse in my opinion. So I do think she lucked out getting this. And maybe you might be surprised. You might see this character usable in the future, in future Limit Breaker quests, whenever we are up against the Rankas, where she does have that increased chance. She might never be a best in slot character ever again, but that damage over time from the burn and lacerate might be enough for you to use her and cheese through a couple stages. So yeah, overall, what do I think about this character? Well, obviously in this showcase, we couldn't demonstrate her at her best in Guild Quests. At the end of the day, she is a Guild Quest character. She has flaws, and the flaws are mainly that low damage output. I think she has great visuals. I think she has great strong attacks. Her voice actor, as bad as it sounds, did a good job. I feel bad when I'm playing with this character, and I love that they included Giselle in the soul bomb, and also the fact that the subtitles do say Bambi Wambi. Ultimately, her biggest problem outside of Guild Quest is going to be that lowish damage output when you aren't inflicting a status ailment. And ultimately, that easily could have been fixed if Frenzy plus 3 was allowed outside of Guild Quest. So I'm really hoping sometime soon Caleb can stop with these Guild Quest specific skills, because it more so hurts normal attack damage characters, but I think this is the first SP unit that is really hurt by this Guild Quest specific skill. Had she been given Frenzy plus 3, I know I've said that a lot in this video, but if she just had that skill, she'd honestly be a perfectly fine character. At the very least though, she's still fun to play with, and if you are a massive Bambietta fan and work on her, get her to level 10 focus, maybe max transcender. She's a perfectly usable as expected with any max transcender character. In Guild Quest though, she's going to be an absolute beast, and I'm excited to try her out, especially remember, because you can pair her with Grammy. That's going to let her do even more damage. So while this video might have not been super impressive, I'm not disappointed. I got exactly what I wanted or expected with this character. But in Guild Quest, I feel like she might surprise us. Either way, let me know what you guys think about this character in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.